I am tatocat and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing Lucid9. Last time we were doing a quest for Shigure to find a file that her incompetent assistant left behind. And it seems that we're doing pretty good so far. We're like super smart puzzle people. Alright, and we left off here. Let us continue. I glance around for another egg-wearing statuette, flinching away from the multitudes of cobwebs spun around the corners. Thankfully I spot one just a few feet away. Sure enough, there is a simple cream envelope slipped beneath its base. Could it actually be the file? Congratulations, Ishiyama. You may be slightly more capable than your worthless peers. There's no file. This was simply a test. And you passed. You may congratulate yourself, although frankly, it was such an easy test that there really is nothing worth congratulating. Take a picture of this note and send it to me as proof of your passable competence. So, this entire ordeal has been nothing but a test. Alright, guess I should be shocked, but I'm not really shocked. Because I think, didn't she say something about a test earlier at the cafe? Is she serious? Everything was fabricated? I almost can't believe it. But at the third note, I guess a small part of me was expecting this turn of events. Still, did she play all of those notes on her own? Was that why the investigation was supposed to take place at night? So that she could have time to prepare everything? It's almost inconceivable, but it seems like the most likely option. And in all honesty, it's hardly beyond what I could imagine Shigure to do. Sighing, I pocket the note and carefully pick my way down the stairs and into the street, steering clear of any corners or dark edges the best I can. Once I'm under some light, I can breathe a little easier. I take a quick snapshot of the note and send it to Shigure without comment. She doesn't respond immediately, which probably means that she received it. With that, I stick to the shadows as I return to my apartment. It's time to get some rest. Oh, creepy background. So we're in the serial killer's point of view. The evening welcomes me with frosted arms as I stride into my beloved glade, my lovely burden slung over my shoulders. The sky is clear tonight. Bitter, vacant, a spiraling abyss in the sea of strangled light. I take a moment to admire it as the familiar vegetation is crushed beneath my soul. Nothing constrains me. No incompetent bureaucracies. No iron gates. No suffocating schedules. Not in this hour. Not at my hour. Oh, that sounded like a heavy burden. I dump my burden upon the ground, watching as she lulls away, still in the haze of beauty sleep. Innocent, peaceful, dreadful. I ready my knife, taking my earnest vigil at his side. When the princess awakens, her guardian will be eagerly awaiting. Oh? Well, that was terribly quick. I stoop next to my burden as she jerks upright, eyes rolling in panic. Good morning, sweetie. Where am... Her voice trails into indistinguishable croaks as her wide, pale eyes fix on me. I spare a chuckle. What? Are you expecting someone else? How did I get here? How else? I settle for a moment, allowing her to take in her surroundings, allowing her to see how dire her situation is. What fun is it without a tinge of panic? Please don't hurt me. Please. What makes you think I would hurt you? So, you'll let me leave? I casually lift my serrated weapon, allowing it to catch the moonlight at just the right angle. Now, why would I do that? I advance towards her, slowly. She ekes away, pulling her weight by her hands, but she is too tremulous to even attempt to run. A little dull, but vermin are vermin. Please, I have a mom, a dad, a boyfriend. I feel like though when you say, a boyfriend, it's like you're going, a dog. Like that. And I don't think that's gonna stop anybody from murdering you. I want to study. I want to grow up. Usually it's cute when they beg, but this girl's bothering me. Well, I want to have a little carving practice, so what shall we do? Carving practice? Imbecile. My fingers twitch with impatience. Yes, carving practice. And I'd best get started. And just like that, we stab her. Oh, he, they, she, they, it, him, the murderer. Question mark, stabs her. I savor my moments with her, leisurely, meticulously. She tried to waste my time. I ought to return the favor. I finish all too quickly. The screams die in my ears as fading echoes of silted crimson plummet from the edge of my blade. The beautiful mess scattered across the ground is a sight for sore eyes. I take a moment to savor it, my canvas, my masterpiece, heart of my soul and soul of my heart. If only it could have lasted a little while longer. Finished. A shadow slips from behind the trees, plodding unceremoniously on top of my finished work. So this person comes out of nowhere and just steps all over this dead body of this girl. What a fantastical person this person is. Although they are helping a murder, so I guess they're not great. Watch your steps. You're desecrating my chef d'oeuvre. The figure only stands in silence, waiting for my reply. I attempt a different line of questioning. Where are the others? Elsewhere. So I gathered. Are they coming? No. So, who shall pick up my toys? I gesture to the artwork beneath the figure's feet. It doesn't budge. Me. You? Yes. By yourself? Yes. Call for the others. So I'm assuming this person is not very large, because they're questioning them being able to do it by themselves. And usually, like, if it was some big strong dude or something, they would easily be able to lift this girl and clean up after him by themselves. No. Why not? Leave if you are finished. It is certainly a one-sided balance of power. I can do nothing but acquiesce. I'm finished. I step away, but as the figure approaches my canvas, I swoop in, sliding my knife against its neck. Don't be so proud of yourself. The moment you're of no use to me, I shall have my way with you. Mr. Serial Killer, question mark. That did not sound probably the way you meant it to. It only stares unblinkingly at me unfazed. Not finished? Equal parts disgusted and perturbed, I withdraw my weapon. I'm finished. Finished with you too. I turn to the brighter horizon, striding away without a backward glance. When I arrive at school, still bleary-eyed from my nighttime excursions, I'm greeted with an unusual sight. See, I feel like this transition makes it look too much like Yama, and thus it's probably not Yama. I could be wrong. A group of students, primarily female, are huddled around the post. As I edged close, I managed to listen in. Your fault. She was wrong about you and now she's gone. What did you do with her, you freak? Where is she? Tell me where she is, please. Answer him. How could you do this to us? Suddenly, Rui blazes by me right into the center of the group, which bounces backward in shock. I'm barely able to catch a glimpse of her face through the massive heads. What are you guys doing? Out of the way, Rui. This has nothing to do with you. No, I'm tired of this. We've been picking on her since school started, and we don't even have a good reason. Good reason? Talk to Shoji. He's our good reason. The group shuffles apart, granting me some space. It's Creepy Girl! That would make sense. Of course they're gonna pick on Creepy Girl because she's creepy and different. And high school kids hate creepy and different. I finally managed to see the cause of the problem. A slight figure crouched against the gate with an empty look in. Wait. Isn't this the same girl that I met yesterday? Well, Shoji? She's been missing for 2 days, and no one can find her. Didn't go home, doesn't answer calls or texts. It's like she just disappeared. Disappeared, just like the rumor said. You guys do remember who started the rumors, right? Look, Rui, this would make the 3rd disappearance. Haven't you been watching the news? Yeah, and this is the 3rd time that an academy student's vanished off the face of this planet. And coincidentally, right after talking with Irie. Technically, Midori disappeared before school started. Oh, so before she was involved, so that doesn't make sense why they're attacking her. Yeah, just like 2 days before. It's still before. Why are you so stubborn? Irie's guilty. Why are you stubborn? Maybe she's not. You clearly don't understand how people work. You clearly don't understand how things work. No wonder you don't have any friends. She has plenty of friends. Let's see, she has Masato, she has Yahiko, she has me, Yama, the magnificent, sarcastic sleuth extraordinaire who is also awesome at quizzes, and she has Akira, master of naming inanimate objects, and Miki, who wants to be friends with her, who she's not friends with because of something. Rui's face closes in her, and a raw, fiery pang of rage coursed through my body. I stormed to her side, unceremoniously shoving away anyone in my path. Uh-oh, they have angered the Yama. Yama? Oh, you. Who's this? Your boyfriend? So we went from, you have no friends, to, oh, your boyfriend? Rolling my eyes. My anger briefly sojourns into panic. I shove it away. You're all disgusting. Picking on someone just because she's not like you. Hey, you don't even know the context, but how do you know? You were sitting and listening on everything. We know that kids have disappeared. You think she made kids disappear. Rui thinks you're idiots. I agree with Rui. So I know exactly what's happening. And, oh, let me guess. You know everything? You know for certain that Aiko... Can't even say her name right, Yama. Irie. Has nothing to do with these disappearances? Twice is a coincidence, thrice is a pattern. So it's still a coincidence because she didn't meet the one chick because it happened before school. So it's still twice. And that's by your definition is a coincidence. A pattern for narrow-sighted people who won't take any other factors. Are you stupid? There aren't any other patterns. The police said so themselves. Oh? And they told you this directly? It was on the news, moron. And it's not like the news has ever twisted the facts or told us anything about the honest truth. You wouldn't be acting so high and mighty if you knew how important Akane is. You wouldn't be acting this prejudiced if you had a brain. True that. You tell him, Yama. Words are spilling out of my mouth before I even consciously think of them. My whole body thrums with cold, frozen hatred. Weird, freak, don't want to play with you. I'm not letting anyone else go through that. Not Rui, not Irie. You think we're being rude to Irie? We're being rude to Shoji. Well, it's not like I ran up to Shoji with a bunch of people, started yelling at him, or something he probably didn't do, based off of loose facts. Of like, well, you also went to the same school as a bunch of other things, and you also talked to her like a bunch of other people did. So it's your fault because you're weird. Shoji, I didn't do that. Yeah, she was the love of Shoji's life. Because everyone knows that high school relationship lasts forever, he'll probably get over her in a week or two. That's a bit too harsh, Yama. A deadly silence descends on the group. Rui pinches my sleeve, her expression unusually troubled. That was a bit too far, Yama. I only clench my jaw and lock my eyes with the boy called Shoji. His face blinks from panic to nothingness in less than a second. A chilled silence falls over the entrance. You... staggers forward, raising a tremulous hand. You bastard. His fingers pull into a fist, and before I can blink, his hand is soaring straight at me. A shadow blurs in front of me, swiping at Shoji's arm. Shoji tumbles to the ground as if thrown by an unknown force. The moment is held on a pause, broken only by a frantic whispering of the gathering crowd around us. Shoji jerkily pushes himself to his feet, his footing loose from fury. Irie idly steps in front of me, arms hanging limply by her sides. Her expression is passive, but something about it gives Shoji pause. So, we were about to get punched by Shoji. And then something stops the punch? Did Irie stop the punch? So I was kind of right about Irie when I jokingly said before that she could be a threat. Don't think she's a murderer. She could be helping the murderer. But I don't think she is the murderer. Hey, what's going on over here? Mr. Ryota pushes the throng of students apart, books hiked under one arm. Yeah, but books are always hiked under one of his arms. All of the students start to babble at once. Mr. Ryota, Akane's been absent for 2 days. Can't contact her. This guy provoked Shoji into a fight. Mr. Ryota waves his hand for silence and an unusually stern expression on his face. It doesn't look like a stern expression. That looks like he is going, Shoji, are you hurt? No, sir. Good. Rui? Yes, Mr. Ryota? Meet me during lunch. You too, Noriko. Yes, Mr. Ryota. Both of you will give me your account on what happened. I'll make a judgment after I've heard both stories, understood? Sullen silence meets his inquiry. He only sighs. Accusations are for children. You guys know that, right? They are children, though, Mr. Ryota. If you're going to claim something, use evidence. If you're going to fight, make sure you have the right reason. Dismissed. He waves his hands to scatter us off to class. And that was unusual for Yama. So he has a stronger sense of justice than I thought, because generally he's apathetic. We head to the classroom in silence, splitting ways at the staircase. I notice that Rui keeps close to Irie, stubbornly meeting the gaze of any gawkers en route. Well, looks like I'm going to get in trouble. Surprise, surprise. I probably shouldn't have interfered with that situation. I probably should have stayed out of it. Usually I do. I know that high school is basically just a cesspool of idiocy, and it's best to keep out of it. No, not even high school. Life in general. That is why there's the saying, high school never ends, exists. But seeing that girl there hedged in by such a large group of students being accused with nothing to defend herself, and seeing Rui leap to her defense just like she did for me 10 years ago. Well, I guess it brought out something that surprised even myself. If anyone has a right to suspect that girl, it should be me. First I met her walking alone in District 6, acting like some creepy mechanical doll, and then I learned that her reputation at school is sketchy at best. That's... this? Suspicious. The second part? Not so much, because it's... your school is kind of a snobby, rich people's school that doesn't like people who are different. Not suspicious even by my standards. And I'm friends with Yahiko. But it's possible that everything is a misunderstanding. It's possible that she really just wants friends, that she's a normal person inside, that she just had a difficult time conveying her thoughts. I understand that feeling. I understand it more than anyone else. Ahem. I shake myself out of my thoughts and take in my surroundings. Huh. Looks like some morning classes have passed. Yeah, I totally wasn't paying attention. In front of me, 3 girls with hair and makeup arranged just like Elizabeth stand in very indignant, superior expressions. I quickly recognized them as the most avid members in her fan club. Hey, loser. We have something to say to you. Look at me. They ignore me, crossing their arms in uncanny unison. We heard that you're giving Elizabeth a hard time. I glance at Elizabeth, whose eyes are wide with panic. Interesting. Looks like she has no hand in the development. Then, where did they get their information from? You better stop before we make you. Elizabeth deserves better. Idiots. I only snort and turn back to my homework. Hey, look at us. No thanks, I don't feel like vomiting, I think. But, managed to keep my mouth shut. Good job, Yama, you can work in customer service. Thoroughly exasperated of these girls, I nod my head at Elizabeth and raise my eyebrow in warning. Her face pales slightly and she slides to my desk, smiling faintly at the 3 girls. Hello. Oh, Elizabeth, this guy's been bothering you for a while, right? Elizabeth opens her mouth, clearly intent on agreeing with the girl, but I shake my head ever so slightly. She gets her teeth together, but somehow manages to keep her smile intact. Thanks for your concern, but it's really fine. The girls blink in clear surprise. Oh, are you sure? Weren't you just saying the other day? Saying what? I don't know what you're saying. Ha ha ha. Yes, Elizabeth, that is so smooth and normal and not suspicious at all. She sends an uneasy glance at me. I only smile innocently. This really shouldn't be fun, but it is. Remarkably so. I thought that Yama was bothered. No, it was, a misunderstanding. Oh, alright. They nod slightly at me like that's an adequate apology. I hate when people do that. We're keeping an eye on you. Don't mess with Elizabeth. You know, Elizabeth is always messing with me. Then they strut out of the classroom, their footsteps in perfect unison. I turn to Elizabeth while she grips the edge of her seat until her knuckles turn white. I really can't believe you. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Despicable. She turns away from me in a huff. Excuse me? I'm not even the one who started it all. Heck, she's the one who's constantly picking a fight. It's always been that way. Whatever. This is even worth thinking about. I turn my attention back to the front of the classroom as the break comes to an end. The rest of the morning classes slug by uneventfully. This time Elizabeth is clearly sulky. Misaki is just as focused as ever. And by focused, I really mean that she's on her phone the entire period. That's focused. It's just not focused on the thing she's supposed to be focused on. When lunchtime comes, I tap Yahiko on the shoulder as I grab my backpack. Hey, lunch. Huh? What? Lunch. Cafeteria? Yeah, sure. Right. cafeteria. Something wrong? No, absolutely nothing wrong. I was just thinking that, it'd be nice to have a couple more minions. Isn't that what your club is for? Well, the blank look on his face is foreign to me. I slap him on the back. That's suspicious. Is Yahiko? He was the bad guy, isn't he? Because before he didn't remember the modeling thing. Now he's like zoning out here. He's suspicious. A club that'll take over the universe. Your minions. Clearly I'm really bad at this. Oh. Huh? It's lunchtime. When was it? Did I time travel? A quick sigh of relief passes my lips before I'm able to spot it. Seems like Yahiko's back to normal. Yeah, it's 4018 AD. You've been asleep for 2,000 years. I have? I don't feel that rested. Well, we kept you in cryo freeze during the light stage of your sleep cycle rather than REM. Oh, you mean I was scammed on 2,000 years of sleep? On the contrary, you were saved from 2,000 years of homework. Oh, I guess you're right. I wonder when he will realize that I'm not supposed to be alive. Well, super realistic hologram Yama. Shall we go grab some lunch? Or do you guys still eat that kind of thing? Psst. I love Yahiko. He's fantastic. Or he could make a totally ridiculous yet somehow plausible assumption. Is he gonna constantly call me super realistic hologram Yama this entire time, or is he going to do something else? Indeed we do. And what are you waiting for? I want to see what kind of cuisine they developed after 2,000 years. Thoroughly re-energized, he skips out of the door. I'm just about to follow, but I feel a sudden tap on my elbow. Yama Ishimoto? It's the girl from the cafe, Natsuki, was it? I glance at Elizabeth. She's in the middle of some fluffy small talk with her groupies, and intentionally keeping her back to me. Lizzie's over there. I'm aware of that. She isn't the one with whom I wish to speak. What do you want? I have a simple question for you. As far as I can tell, nothing simple when it comes to this girl. Have you ever felt like two people are fighting for your body? What? More specifically, fighting for control over your body. Like mind control? No, more like two different entities in simultaneous resistance, resulting in widely different actions and processes of thought. Oh, she's talking about dissociative identity disorder, eh? A chill runs up my spine. I think it'd be fairly obvious if I'm going through something like that. Well, you may or may not have any recollection of the other entity. Something about her mysterious smile sets me on edge. And what's with the sudden questions? Psychology paper. We're studying dissociative identity disorder. Which is... colloquially, it's known as multiple personality disorder. I would say you should know of it already, but perhaps your alter ego services during psychology class. I clench my jaw at her obvious accusation, searching to find an answer in her face. I find none. So, do I look like the kind of person who has multiple personality disorder? Well, that's not how it works. It's not like you see somebody do something and be like, yep, they have multiple personality disorder. Just look at them twitch that way, It's not like that's not how it works. Do you want to know the answer to that question? Look, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Try asking Elizabeth. She's the one who properly switches between being nice and being a pain in the ass. Shilly nods and smiles, but I sense her eyes boring through the back of my head as I slip out of the classroom. Oh dear. She's creepy. I mean, she's probably someone who's similar to Shigure and just wanting to figure things out. But we know the serial killer is working with a group of people, and she could be one of those people. I attempt to shake off the encounter as I head to the cafeteria, but Natsuki's words linger in the back of my mind. See, he's suspicious. He keeps going through these like happy things, and then he can't remember things, and then he snaps back to normal. So that's weird. And he seems super innocent and like he's really too dumb. You know, like he's super dumb and super nice, and that's suspicious in and of itself. So he's number one. Of course, we as our characters are kind of suspicious. I feel like it's too obvious. And then there's his sister. His sister is probably dead. I don't think they've said that for sure, but I feel like she is. And then from past experiences from playing other visual novels, that doesn't mean anything. Thankfully, when I arrive, Yahiko immediately waves me over, face cheerily shining. I love the music they play for. You just know by the music he's about to say something really dumb. Have a seat, my loyal minion. Today's special is baby back ribs. I can see that from your plate. You can divine stuff from my plate? Look into my love life fortune. He's acting awfully normal. Did he already forget that he's supposed to be in 2,000 years into the future? Just eat. Well, I suppose I'll decide this time, but a master is supposed to command his minions, not the other way around. Exactly. What? So Yahiko, he's saying that you're a minion. Nothing. I glance around the cafeteria as I start on my own plate. I recognize quite a few faces. Natsuki and Elizabeth surrounded by groupies. So, I don't think Elizabeth has really anything to do with it. At most, she would be in the group helping the serial killer. Or maybe her parents are involved or something. And she is probably just suspicious of everybody because she's trying to figure out who the killer is. And I'm probably her number one suspect by the sounds of it. To be fair, I'm also suspicious of us. Masato and a few track members. Masato's on my list. This is everybody's the killer. Masato's on my list because I'm assuming this person does have multiple personalities because they take this medicine and this medicine makes them do weird things, and it seemed like they only come out at specific times, not necessarily murder at specific times, but like they come out at a specific time. And he has a very strict schedule, like he must go to sleep at this time. Akira and a few drama club members. I like Akira. If we can move somebody, I'm going to try to move her. I don't know if that's an option or not, but I will try to. I don't think she's in on it. To be fair, I don't think I've had that much option to see that many sides of her other than the fact that she's kind of weird, which is why I like her. I think she's an interesting person. Rui's absent, probably speaking to Mr. Ryota on my behalf. Misaki too, who I rarely see her around outside of class. Rui is kind of a possibility. At first I thought she might be because she's so kind of small and innocent and cute, but I don't really think so anymore. I think that for sure, if we are the killer, she would definitely be the one helping. Mr. Ryota is suspicious, but I just think I'm suspicious of most people in this game. But I think he's probably fine. Misaki came from nowhere. I guess, like, she disappeared for several years and then came back and is trying to befriend everybody like nothing happened. I don't think she'd be the killer. It's a possibility, but I feel like she's on the lower spectrum of possibility of who the killer is. And in the corner, eating alone, is Irie. She seems to be satisfying herself with her own plate of ribs. That is not a rib, this is a peach. Or a tongue. I think Irie probably isn't the killer, but maybe be one of the helpers, because like I said, it sounded like before, the person who was helping out seemed like they weren't big enough to help out the killer. But it's too obvious if she's the killer. She's so weird and suspicious. Everybody suspects her already. Something about this picture looks empty, lonely. Say, that gives me an idea. So, how's it been with the ladies? Need you even ask? Fantabulous, of course. Fantabulous, Tahiko? Would you mind teaching this humble servant your ways? Thought you never asked, but why now? I'm trying to wave off his question by gesturing in Irie's direction. So, how about her? Alright, I'll stop here. We'll see what happens between Yahiko and Irie, which it seems like that's going to be a fun thing. See you next time. I am tatocat. Like, comment, and subscribe. Have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon.